All right, guys, here we're talking about Pushing Daisies Season 2, Episode 5. So, my favorite thing in this episode, I loved the little entranceway when they go into the Chinese restaurant.
Okay.
And it's this weird thing where it's like it is a roped off pathway of like bamboo wood or something, and the outside edges are like rocks. And I was like, what is this? It seems so fantastical for like a restaurant entryway. It's where he's first going in there to check a case. That's when he notices the clicky woman. That they're in that room. Is that trigger thing for you? No. I like him and the clicky woman.
Simone is great, and they brought her back. The dog breeder, genetic dog theft episode is one of my favorites. So when she was in the recap, I was like, yay! And is there a new intro sequence besides that with like weird CG and flying around and stuff like that?
Oh, did I not notice that at all?
I don't know if that's been shown to me every time or if it's something going on. I'm watching it on Amazon Prime. I don't know what's happening, but I was struck. There's like weird. I can't describe it except to say that I was like, new intro?
I feel like during the intro, I'm usually fucking around on my phone.
Bad person.
The intro's the same every time, up until this time, maybe.
I was gonna say, I feel like something was different. I don't know. Simone though is great. The clicky woman. I love the thing with the buns. And he's like, oh man, the buns going off on the whole thing.
Take one.
Right?
All right. Yeah.
Leave it. When she says leave it, I was like, I was like, damn. And he's like, why does that turn me on so much? Like,
she does seem like a bit of a plant, though, in the episode, like where she's like we just got to get her way to fork her back in, because if you look at the rest of the people playing, she's so not like any of them. Like, how did she even understand? Like, how did she hear about this? What part of her social circle would cross over here? The Venn diagram seems like it would be a very small thing, only including her. Like,
right, and she's interested in like high stakes dim sum poker or something like that.
Who isn't?
I mean, she's a powerful lady. She likes what she likes and something like that. And she likes Emerson.
I love when they're playing and Emerson's like, I won? Oh, yes, I won.
Yeah. Okay, let's just skip to that then, because when they all show up undercover, like,
Ned as like the oil baron,
Darlin,
he is.
And he's like, hey, my name is like Ace something or whatever, AC something, whatever. Like actually amazing. This is the Jimmy the Ace, and this cowboy as like Ned and all that stuff. Like that's the dumb, outlandish like approach to stuff that I wanted. Olive like with the gong, Chuck looking hot as hell as her like geisha thing.
What, I just like gongs.
I was like mad thrown off by this whole costuming, but no, like wonderful, honestly wonderful.
My first thought was I was like, that's kind of racist.
Oh no, it was a product of its time. You see, in 2004 or whatever, you could just do weird things like that. I don't know. No, but it's great. I think maybe last time or the time before we talked about like, yeah, the stuff on the roof is like tacked on and this is that and this is weird, whatever. Right here, all of the development happens in like the middle of the case, right? It's really awesome. And the undercover bits and the back and forth and let's try this, let's try that, and like things happen while they're there. It feels like an episode of like Murder, She Wrote or Columbo or something like that. Where
it did feel good.
I was super into this.
You knew from the moment you were introduced to the dead father with the pipe through his head, I'm like, he's gonna run through the doorway.
Yeah.
and I definitely never saw this episode before.
Okay. Me neither. No.
Whenever someone has a thing like that, you're like, yep. Like whenever you see a dog carrying a large stick, like anything that, you're gonna hit a doorway. I know it. Yeah.
And he did, but that was so like above and beyond. His head wanging around back and forth, and them all dodging it and trying to ask him questions and all that stuff. There's some horrible CG explosions and like bun steaming or something like that. But that's it barely even counts against it, because when you structure it like a Mighty Boosh episode, I don't mind this weird explosion.
Yeah, there's a wonderful really when he's first learning gambling, when he's away at like the prep school, and it does like the pan in like through like around the school, and then pushes through the window to them. I'm like this is done very it's very dated, but it's also almost better because that done fluid and realistic. You're like, oh, that's a very cool shot. But done like a little bit cartoony somehow makes it even more outlandish and more fun, and I love that.
No, like when you cut to I'll continue to use the Mighty Boosh, but they were driving once, and they cut to like the exterior, and it's like the van, and like the background is all like fake and drawn or something like that, right? Or when someone uses like shots like that where it's clearly not the thing, and it's just supposed to kind of represent the thing or whatever. That's that works for me.
Most definitely.
Another example I forgot.
Of outlandish things in this episode?
Yeah, in this episode. Identifier.
Nothing jumps out at me as crazy outlandish.
Oh, Shrimp Boy is Asian Vin Diesel. I enjoyed that a lot.
He's been in things. He's like, background character number.
He literally could have said, "It's about family." And I've been like, "Yes, this guy's perfect."
The guy who was the last one to get introduced, I forget what his name was in the show, but the long-haired gentleman at the poker table.
Oh God, yeah,
was
he's
the
somebody.
creepiest motherfucker you've ever seen.
Yes.
And yeah, he could play any kind of creepy guy. He
And
should be like Steve Buscemi's like alter ego in something.
And what did they say in like the rundown? He killed his mom and got off on a technicality or something crazy. You're like,
and
oh
it's like
God.
James, he's a plumber. And you're like, what?
Yeah. No, like the game's eccentric, the idea of like hiding the gambling and all that stuff. Like this is like, I don't want to say peak pushing Daisies, but this is like hitting all the things. Oh, okay. Talking about like transitions and stuff. Emerson looks out the window and then they basically cut to a thing, but it's like, it looks like Emerson looking out the window on like a TV screen and then it pans down. Like it's poorly composited and all that
the window
stuff.
is just filthy.
Well, yeah, but it's still, it had like a very flat look where like something about when the camera moved, the way it reacted didn't seem like it was real.
I recall the one you're talking about.
But in like a charming way where I was like, that's, I like that.
My mind was
similar
busy
to what you're talking
thinking,
about.
so when it first popped through the glass, I'm like, that glass is like yellow. I'm like, is this part of like a sign or something? And then like when it panned out further, I'm like, no, it's not. Like you thought like it would be like across the glass was like it's gonna say like Emerson Cod, or something.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that he lives above this Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
That's like fantastically large and impressive and nice.
Yeah, and like it opens with him pigging out and all that stuff. On
the part where he's just like rubbing his belly, like he's like, so into. He's like a Yogi Bear of a character.
No, and like the narrator, it's like this is the kind of thing where like an episode of a show, in episode like 17, like which is I think literally where we are, total would be like, and this happens every day or every week, and you're like, okay, just like shove some weird thing in there. But this feels totally natural and great.
Yeah,
this whole thing of the the like British narrator being. Being like, and Emerson knew that the coming food coma would like satisfy all of his thing, like this great like thing, and you're like, it like totally fits his character, and similarly, so like not just eating the food, but living above the restaurant, like this whole time this never came up, but like I did not have that, that.
Well, no, we knew he lived above a restaurant.
We didn't know that. I'm just saying,
we have seen
never saw it,
Chinese food throughout the series.
Yeah.
So like it does all come together nicely.
It's not totally out of the blue, and I'm not literally criticizing it. I'm saying like this is the kind of thing that like would bother me, but I never had those thoughts once. It's like fully integrated. It all felt fine and great in the show.
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else about this episode?
I would like to say so.
Well, it ended up being the gambling. The guy was a cheater. He cheated everybody. Ended up in jail. That's always fun.
I like that too.
Something about that character though, he seemed so fake. And I mean like the guy, the actual human being who played the character of the one that was like stealing the bride, the bride.
Yeah.
He seemed like he looked enough like other characters in the world, like people, but like a fake version of them.
He looked like an extra.
He looked kind of like, what was the guy from Mad TV's name? He has a podcast, a Tiger Belly. What the hell is his name? I can't think of the guy's name, but there's an actual actor who that guy looked like he was playing a part of that guy. Like we couldn't get him, so we got this guy.
Like his outfit was like a Wayne Newton thing or some weird, like he looked really out of place and gross, but that was cool. Like I like how the case unfolds and gets solved. You think it's this, then you think it's that. Like this is one of the first times in a long time that I've actually thought the way you're supposed to. Oh, she must have done it, and then she goes and like talks to Emerson. She's like, no, you don't understand. My dad made a bet. Oh wait, what bet? And it's not this bet, it's that bet, and then it keeps layering on top of each other. And even the way that everything comes to a head, where we've developed the Shrimp Boy character, the bet is sacred and all that stuff, and then you find out that he's hiding food on him, right? Because he works at the restaurant, he owns the thing. So whenever he's gambling, he can slip some squid into one of his pots, and then he can win the thing. And I'm like, that's brilliant, right? So this whole conceit of like using the different foods as like suits and like cards.
It would be
and all
so
that
much
stuff.
harder to cheat in this game than traditional cards.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
You have to lift the top of the thing, look inside, put your thing in there while taking a thing out, and not making a clang like sound.
I know.
No,
possibly impossible, but a great like reveal where like the dog, because Simone is there, right? It's one of those like Seinfeld things where everyone ends up walking to the same place, and then and then blah 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 blah, and you look like Hitler, right? It's this weird thing where you've stumbled.
I do love the
things.
line of like, and if the police come in, you just eat it.
Yeah,
Like,
and
that is genius.
Yeah, he's like, except these cards you can eat. And she goes, and that's exactly what she'll do, when the police walk in. And I was like, I love that. No, like the whole thing works, which is amazing because it's so outlandish and crazy. Emerson and Simone get it on though, and there's like a relationship starting.
Gets a huge lipstick print on his head.
How do you feel about it when the one black woman dates the one black man on the show? Do you get like a tone from that, or is that just normal? What are your thoughts?
Like
I have mixed feelings.
I could see how that and that is like every sitcom from everything up until like 2007.
I was gonna say
like that.
It's so common.
It would be like, you had the one Chinese character and the one Chinese girl, and they would get together, and that was the thing.
Yeah, they will like introduce someone of the same nationality that there isn't one of yet, except for one on the show, and they'll just naturally end up being together or something.
Yeah.
So like I don't bat an eye because, like you said, I'm so used to it from just growing up with that or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I do get the little twinge of like, I don't know if they would do this like this on purpose.
It definitely has. Yeah. It has an air of like a little bad taste on there, but it's also mimicking in some senses of reality, where like if someone's just similar to you, you gravitate.
It kind of happens in reality too, which is why I've always been like.
I think but when things happen naturally in reality, we don't question them because they actually happen. But when something is a structured TV show plot point, we go. But for all we know, this show gets written out in advance of a lot of episodes, and this character wasn't even cast before that happened.
No,
she could have just been the most qualified person for the job. We got the job.
And they completely set it up and developed it, because in that dog episode, they just decide who should go talk to who, and Emerson, gets with her, and then she's clicking, and he's kind of, and there's like some tension.
I also
there,
couldn't picture anyone else having the good reaction to the clicking like he has.
Exactly. No. So like it all falls into place. I don't think that I'm not calling out the show as being like something or whatever. It just caught my eye, and I wanted to bring it up as like.
No, we should start a writing campaign. We got to get this show canceled.
Get this show taken off the air.
12 years ago.
They should not be allowed to continue this racist. No, I like it because I feel like they fit together and it makes sense, and they have that history that they've developed and stuff. There's a scene here too. I didn't call it out last episode. Last episode, they show a scene of like a woman that has her jaw wired shut, and it explains why the thing was mailed to the wrong person because she was trying to do liquid dot, right? Here, they show a scene of like two little Asian boys playing cards, and he's like cheating at like cards.
Yeah.
Like they did a whole other side. It's like a few seconds, and they built the whole scene of like that, them as kids or whatever, right? Like totally unnecessarily above and beyond, showing some stuff, right? Of like
I thought that was actually rather standard of what TV does.
I guess, but I feel like you're doing a lot of stuff just for like a tiny little thing, right?
Yeah, but
I appreciate it. I'm saying it's good.
I didn't dislike it or have any problems with it, but I think on your standard high production value thing, that's almost to be expected, and this is in that ballpark.
No, we are, exactly.
You've brought up the Mighty Boosh a couple times. Think about the amount of money they've spent for literally a 2-second gag.
I know,
and that's a micro budget show.
Yes. Well, you can do it if you care, I guess, is the whole thing. And I feel like I'm either noticing it more now or it's happening more now. I don't know if season 2 the show has more money or something like that, but
probably
they've kind of put into the whole thing. Okay, yeah. I like stuff like that. I always notice it because it's like, wait, you did a whole thing just for that? Yeah.
No, it's set up. I like because the narrator has to talk over that part, and he's saying and what was his name? Poor boy, rich boy, shrimp boy.
Shrimp boy,
and Shrimp boy had been
Ruppy.
losing to him for years, and this blah blah came to a head now.
Sick of losing to him after all this time.
Yeah.
Final point from me is Stephen Root, the guy, Ned's father's friend.
Yes,
who shows up and is like,
almost forgot about that whole side plot.
Your dad. Yeah, well, because it ends in this insane way.
He meets his half brothers. They're twins. They're magicians. I'm sure that'll come into play at some point.
Yeah, I was say, how do you feel about all that? That's I was already satisfied with the outlandish dim sum restaurant. I didn't need a whole outlandish twin magician.
Do you think so? So you called out the potential racism parts here. Now, do you think there's like a mockery of the Lee Pace character with his eyebrows and stuff because those characters theirs look fake, like they're stuck on or whatever?
I didn't even notice the pie maker's eyebrows.
Oh, they're very specific.
Yeah, I never even was like, oh, he has your eyebrow. I was like, I'm not inside this joke, and I forgot to look at it because I think the next time you see him, he's a cowboy. So I was not even paying attention to anything.
You're like looking at the mustache going, is that real? Did he
grow
that?
Did you grow that mustache? No, I never associated him with big eyebrows or whatever. I've never been the thing.
He's very expressive with them too.
Yeah. Well, he's got a whole thing he does, but yeah.
But no, and they're very short. You don't realize when they're next to the girls because the girls are rather short. But Ned's a rather tall guy.
Yeah.
And so when he gets the hug from his half brothers, you're like, oh, they're like at his shoulders. Okay.
Okay, yeah, didn't know that either.
So what do you think? So the last shot is we see my red stapler with a gun in the back, like
Yeah.
staring at this all go down.
We see radio station manager from Oh Brother Where Art Thou, just has a gun on the passenger seat. He's like, what's his name from Breaking Bad? He's gonna fix the situation.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
So it seems like he wants to kill Ned's dad. I don't know why. I don't know if he really knew him or really served with him.
Obviously, I will say obviously my thought process here is that we have this whole thing where Ned has a second thought. He's like, well, maybe it's not what more than meets the eye. Blah 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 blah. So I'm thinking like, oh, I never talked to you again, Ned, because I was afraid that blah blah was going to come after you, and I had to distance myself. This was to keep you alive.
That would be great and like super over the top. I wonder if like Ned's father's a spy. That would be wonderful.
I don't think he's a spy
or something crazy like that. Well, because he saw him starting a whole new family and apparently got a postcard to the effect of like deuces.
That's what's really strange though, is that we're
insane.
moving, gave the address, but somehow never saw him again. I'm like, at certain periods of time, like summer, you leave the school. Where did he go every year?
No,
what happened?
No, every summer he just plays. I thought
that was every holiday.
I don't know what you were talking about. Whenever like kids would leave or something.
Okay, well,
like that.
at 18, he left with no money, no job, no credentials, no
Didn't
nothing.
go there. Went to go make pies. Then.
Seemingly.
Understand me. He's a pie man.
I really wonder.
This is a great thing, though, in general, of like the like character development happening during the case, because he sees like the father that like made the bed and what he was willing to do, and then he went like, oh wait a minute, or what is it like to the outside world, like their actions may have seemed like this, but their intentions were actually like that, and like the narrator fills it in for you, and you see Ned's face going like, oh wait a minute, or whatever. Because earlier I wrote down this line where he was like, I'm not going to see my brothers because that may somehow make my father happy.
Yeah, and I get that.
And if that seems petty, vindictive, and small, think of it as an homage to the small part of us that is the same. Like, because he's like, I don't want anything to do with my father or something like that. And I was like, that is super deep and super real and super good. And for him to like even acknowledge like, this is shitty, but guess what? That's what I'm doing. And I was like, oh damn. And then to see him come around, to have him have that moment of like, oh, maybe from my father's perspective there was something else, right? So I think to your point, since there's a guy with a gun involved, maybe there is something else, and there's a reason why he had to abandon him.
And since he abandoned his second family as well, you're thinking, okay, so he fled,
on the run.
It caught up to him, he got away again.
He kept starting families though, very he's irresponsible. You gotta live in a bunker in that situation.
Gotta blend in. Bunkers don't blend in.
Bunker. We will find out more. I'm happy to see Stephen Root on there. I like him. He's a cool dude. I went and like IMDb'd him to be like, where should I say that I know him from besides the places? And he has so many credits.
Oh, you know, Dodgeball is a great one.
He's such a prolific dude. It's awesome.
News Radio, I think, might have been my like big exposure to him.
Yeah, big time.
All right, guys, that's this episode of Pushing Daisies. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Thumb down and fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.